Secretary Rubio posting to social media, as President Trump did a few days earlier, threatening all future U.S. funding to South Africa by announcing that he would not attend a G20 foreign ministers meeting in Johannesburg from February 20th, citing the expropriation of private property as one reason, while accusing Pretoria of using the G20 theme to promote solidarity, equality and sustainability as a cover for diversity, equity and inclusion and climate change. Rubio's post to X, in which he accused South Africa of anti-Americanism, was seemingly endorsed by Elon Musk, who posted 2 American flags in response, as South Africa remained firmly in the crosshairs of the United States, as explained by a man who is reportedly rumored to be under consideration as a possible pick to be the next U.S. ambassador to South Africa. He was speaking on a webinar hosted by the publication, the South African Jewish Report.
Right now, it remains a very important partner, potentially. We have an interest in a strong South Africa. And unfortunately, South Africa is committed to domestic policies that weaken South Africa and make it less capable and therefore make it a problem rather than part of the solution to international issues when they arise. And so I think enough is enough as far as the Trump administration is concerned. You know, there was kind of an effort to talk about these things and smooth them over during the Obama administration, the Trump administration, the Biden administration. And this time it's really just, it's gone beyond what I think the United States is willing to tolerate. And I think the Trump administration expects to see very clear changes in South Africa's foreign and domestic policy.
Pollack was born in South Africa but moved with his parents to the United States at just 8 weeks old in 1977, returning to work in South Africa in 2000, where he would later get a job with the Democratic Alliance, including as former leader Tony Leon's speechwriter. Asked if he thought South Africa would retain its preferential status in the African Growth and Opportunity Act, which is up for renewal later this year, Pollack was a no.
If I were betting on it, I'd say no, not without significant changes. That was already in the cards before Trump was elected, by the way. If you look at what the Democratic senators were saying about South Africa's participation in AGOA, they were very skeptical about it because of South Africa's closeness to Russia. That's one part of it. And the other part is that to some extent, not just in South Africa, but to some extent, there's an awareness that Chinese firms have exploited AGOA simply to relocate in South Africa and export to the American market under favorable terms. So, you know, the purpose of AGOA is not to enrich China, it's to enrich Africa. But South Africa's path at the moment is not one of prosperity and expansion and growing the industrial base and building greater power generating capacity and encouraging innovation. There are pockets of excellence in South Africa. There are places where that's happening. But overall, we don't see it happening. And again, it's because the focus is on things that have nothing to do with the benefit of South Africans or the benefit of the United States as trading partners.
He also suggested that the United States was being taken advantage of by South Africa.
If you're getting free trade benefits from the United States, but then you go to the International Court of Justice and you attack a key American ally under attack from terrorists, well, then maybe you shouldn't have those benefits because you clearly have money to spend on sending teams of lawyers in robes and wigs and whatever to The Hague to strut around and misquote the Bible. I mean, it just looks like we're being taken advantage of, and it feels that way as well. So I think that AGOA is not dead, but it will be renegotiated. And if South Africa wants to benefit from it, it's going to have to make serious changes to its foreign and domestic policies.
Earlier this month, the Wall Street Journal ran an opinion piece titled "South Africa Needs the Trump Treatment," arguing that 3 decades of ANC rule had delivered corruption, economic collapse, and an alarming alignment with America's enemies. Views echoed by other leading conservative voices in the United States.
President Trump is apparently killing aid to South Africa. This, of course, is a good thing because when it comes to South Africa has become an increasingly racist state focused on expropriating the property of whites. South Africa has pushed forward an expropriation measure signed by the president, Cyril Ramaphosa, designed to bring land reform in the public interest, meaning just seize property, presumably from white farmers disproportionately. South Africa, by the way, because it has impoverished itself in ways that it need not, because South Africa has pursued a racialist policy, because South Africa's identity is largely tied up in its sort of anti-colonialist mindset.
Add to that Republican Senator Ted Cruz posting that the South African government seemed to be going out of its way to alienate the United States and its allies, citing Pretoria's efforts to move Taiwan's liaison office outside of the capital, warning that he would use his position as chairman of the Africa Subcommittee on the Senate Foreign Relations Committee to investigate these and other concerning decisions by South Africa. For its part, President Cyril Ramaphosa said South Africa would not be bullied, while International Relations Minister Ronald Lamola said in a statement that South Africa was a sovereign and democratic country committed to human dignity, equality and rights, placing the Constitution and the rule of law at the forefront, while remaining open to further engagement with the United States. Sherwin Bryce-Pease, SABC News, New York.